Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Doing a video. I thought I'd come on here and do a video about the Ohio primary coming up tomorrow. I figured I would talk about the race and where I think it's going to go. Um, this has been an interesting race, especially on the Senate side. The race has really been one of the more eye opening races of the cycle. Um, the candidates in the field have all sought out and taken really hard right stands. Josh Mandel, J.D. Vance, Mike Gibbons, Jane Trumpkin, the former head of the state party, and Mr. Dolan. All of them, some of them though, have taken very different positions on the former president. With the exception of Mr. Dolan, of the top tier candidates, they all have tried to one up themselves in just over the top admiration for the former president. And his endorsement was highly sought after in this race. And he did not give it until about 2 weeks ago. The biggest thing to me watching this race has been who would Trump endorse. And, he made them wait a long time for their endorsement before he stepped in. And I thought that he would endorse Mandel or Gibbons because they seemed to be, up until his endorsement, the clear front runner. But he endorsed in the end J.D. Vance, the author and venture capitalist. Well, J.D. Vance went from about 8% in the polls, and kind of people viewing this as, oh my God, look what he did to his reputation for such a poor finish in this primary. I will admit, I was one of those people. I thought, oh my God, he sold his soul for a fourth place finish in this Ohio Senate primary. Well, he's come to be the leader now. Up until Trump's endorsement, Josh Mandel, with the exception of a few polls here and there, had been the clear frontrunner, and Mike Gibbons was coming on a strong second. He had poured a lot of money, of his own money, into the race and had been on TV often. Trump endorsed Vance. But the more I thought about it, when Trump announced his endorsement, the more it made sense. And in the end, in my opinion, should have been apparent from the beginning. If J.D. Vance wins this, Trump can claim that his endorsement turned the race around. And there will be no arguing that. J.D. Vance went from 8%, an afterthought, to winning. If J.D. Vance loses, but it's a close loss, like a couple thousand votes, less than a percentage point, maybe even just a percentage point difference, he can claim that he drugged J.D. Vance all the way to that second place, and J.D. Vance just couldn't get across the finish line. But it was J.D. Vance who was the loser. He drug him as far as he could. And will obviously endorse whoever the winner is in that instance. So, how do I think it's going to turn out? Sometimes these things get overcomplicated, and people try to say, well, this and this and this. In politics, sometimes getting hot late matters. It's all about momentum. In the last week of the 2016 campaign, you could really, I think, if you were looking at the underlying things in that race, you saw that Donald Trump had a real chance to win that race, and he did. Okay. I think this is going to be a repeat of that. I think that Trump's endorsement has propelled Vance to a position where Vance already had built-in support, and Mandel and Gibbons had built-in support. But there was a sizable chunk of Republicans that were looking to see where Trump went. Some of those people were going to go for whoever the anti-candidate to that was. But the majority of them were going to go where Trump told them to. So, when the votes are counted, I think J.D. Vance is going to win. And I think it's going to be a few percentage points. He's probably going to win with around 30, maybe less than 30%. But that's going to be enough because Ohio doesn't have runoffs. I think Josh Mandel finishes second. And then third place is going to be really odd. It's going to be a jump ball between Gibbons and Dolan. Dolan has come on real strong at the end of the race. And I think a lot of that is the anti-Trump vote. Gibbons has kind of fallen way down. I think some of his support was just from television ads. People really didn't know who he was. And those ads, I mean, TV ads matter. Especially with self-funders. They can help a whole hell of a lot. Especially with low information voters. And then fourth place will be Jane Trunken, who is endorsed by the sitting senator, the retiring Senator Rob Portman. And she's the former head of the Ohio Republican Party. Ohio also has a contested primary for governor. And in this race, the anti-DeWine vote has fractured and split itself up. And that is going to allow the incumbent governor to win renomination with just a plurality. And he'll go on to November and win re-election, and that'll be that. On the Democratic side in the Senate, it's a done deal. Tim Ryan faces very little, if any, opposition. I know he has some minor candidates who are running against him. He should easily secure the Democratic nomination. And in my opinion, it's going to set up a J.D. Vance versus Tim Ryan matchup for the Senate. And J.D. Vance is going to be the immediate and clear favorite to win that race. Ohio, at one point, was a swing state. And some people falsely believe that that is still the case. Ohio is moving very hard to the right and is moving into a solid, safe Republican environment. So that's my thoughts. I think it's going to be J.D. Vance versus Tim Ryan in the Senate matchup from Ohio. if this Trump endorsement had went another way, I think it would be a very different matchup. So it'll be Vance, Mandel, and then a combination of Gibbons, Dolan, and Trunken, with most likely Dolan and Gibbons battling it out hard for that third place. I will see you all tomorrow when we have results from Ohio, and we can break down whether or not I was right or wrong, or we're still waiting, because that is always a possibility. So I'll see you all on the flip side, and look forward to getting in to our Senate video prediction videos, and previews of very interesting primaries I have going on across the country. So I'll see you then.